All right, it looks like we're live, and welcome everybody to Instagramorama Tuesday, September the 9th. I cannot believe we're heading up into the midweek of September. I hope you all had great, back to school time, with kiddos or students going back, or if you're teachers and you're heading back into the swing of things. Well, now, excuse me, we're getting ready to really hit the home stretch of 2014. It just seemed like we just started the year, didn't it? So now we're coming into the heaviest or most busiest time of the year as far as with the marketing schedule. Usually January is typically the biggest month for internet marketers, but right now we are heading toward September and October. They tend to be just as busy, if not busier. So what we're going to do today is we're going to continue our discussion. And I'm doing something different, with what I'm doing here over the next couple of days. And it's because we want people to focus on how you're going to get people enrolled into your program. All right, it's not just the tool and having like Instagram and being able to, generate leads, but you want to take those leads, get them to be exposing them to your product, service, or opportunity, and then you want to get them to eventually either purchase your product or enroll. And so what I taught last week and what I'll be teaching you this week and then again next week can be applied to any social media medium, all right, or any social media network, so that you are going to have this nice blueprint. Now, I learned these techniques over the summer when I was part of the 100-Day Biz Builder Challenge with Adam Chandler and Justice Egan, and let me tell you, it was one of the most amazing courses I could have ever been a part of this summer as far as for training. And so what I'm going to be teaching you tonight is, last week we talked about exposing them, getting them right up to your opportunity, and then tonight we're going to talk about what happens with the follow-up. And so it's very important, for some of you this might be a review, but for those of you who are brand new and just getting started with, network marketing and internet marketing, this is going to be a real nice introduction. So I want to make sure everyone here can see and hear me. I see Rick and I see Bill and I see Judy. Welcome, you guys. If you've got any other folks that want to come on board, I'm going to shoot the link in here again and make sure that you get your teams on. That would be super cool. So I'll put that on here. And I'm going to get the slides going because I understand we've got two big webinars coming up tonight. There's one at 8 o'clock with Diane Hockman. She's going to be teaching some list building strategies. And then the MLSP, or My Lead System Pro, Tuesday night hangouts that happen at 8 o'clock. So we're going to get going here. So let me make sure I bring up my slides. Are my slides coming up? Okay. Cancel that. Okay, there we go. I will share my slides. All right, so you can see my slides up on the slides. Tonight is episode 9. I thought it was episode 8, but it's really I think it's episode 9 or 8. I'll have to look back on my thing. But we're talking about exposure to enrollment. So for those of you who are brand new and joining us, or you're going to be you're listening in on the YouTube stream or the Google stream, is these weekly webinars for Instagram. We are learning how to use Instagram to build your brand, create raving fans, and eventually sell more stuff. And you will be able to find my YouTube channel where I have my Instagramorama playlist, and that is on my professional or my business YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/digitalmarketingdoc. That's where you will find my Instagramorama, and that is, I believe, one of the top 2 playlists on my channel. And usually what I've been doing is once this hangout is done tonight, I'm going to immediately download it and get it uploaded hopefully tonight or by the very latest tomorrow, because I have something real special that I want to do for people at the end of this hangout. So if you qualify for something like this, stick around, because this is something that I've never done before, and I don't know if I'm going to do it again, but I've got a real fire in my belly to do something really great for people tonight. But we're going to talk about from exposure to enrollment. I'm going to give you a quick recap from last week, and I've got an Instagram Android app tip that I want to share with you. So let's start with the recap of last week. Last week we really talked about there's a 4-step process that we do when we're going to take people from engaging from our images, and then we want to expose them to our opportunities. So we have this 4-step process that we go through. So the first thing we do is we want to capture their attention. So, when someone likes or leaves a genuine comment on our Instagram site, what we want to do is go in and we want to comment back. So we're going to go to their profile. We're going to see what we have in common with that person. And we're going to just talk about those things we have in common. We are not talking about anything business-wise. So we get their attention, and then we start a conversation. Maybe right now, since we're heading into fall, if they've got people that are maybe showing off images from going to NFL football games. So you might have a conversation about who their favorite, if they have pictures of their favorite team, who's their favorite player, do you think they're going to go to the Super Bowl, and you can maybe start a conversation around football. Or there are things going on right now as far as people are gearing up and, for the holidays, and for a lot of women, this is the time where they really we start seeing a lot of the fall and holiday craft shows coming up. So you might see people putting up images with that, and so you may want to start conversations around those topics. Then, as you're carrying on the conversation for a couple turns, the next step will be is you want to ask permission to message them privately, and the preferred method that I like to use is to get them on Facebook, because number one, that seems to be it's an easier place to communicate. People know where the private messaging is, and it's another way for people to follow you, and it can get you some likes to your fan page. Usually I direct people to my fan page when we're going to be carrying on discussions. And then it's just like, then the reason we ask permission is, guys, we're in permission marketing. That's what attraction marketing is that we're asking permission for people to take a look at our stuff, to be on our list, okay? And it's a lot easier to do, where we want people to know, like, and trust us, that they want to, it comes natural, rather doing like a cold call, which is more of your traditional, like if you were to walk on a car sales lot, they're going to be doing, they're doing some cold calling, they're doing the cold prospecting, you're a cold lead to them. And then after we talk about, the reason we do this permission is that you want to think of everyone's social media profile pages like their home. And if you're going in your private messaging, that's like you're barging into their space when they're not ready for you. And in Facebook, and now Instagram, I mean, right now, since Instagram is owned by Facebook, Facebook's really cracking down on people if they're sending, if you're sending messages to people who you don't know. I mean, they're cracking down. You can get into Facebook jail. You can get your account suspended or deleted. So that's why we always want to, break the ice by carrying on some conversations, finding common ground, and making sure that they know, like, and trust us. And then at some point in the conversation, we have what's called the pivotal moment. And that's the moment where, when you're in your discussions, they're either going to do one of two things. They're either going to confess something to you, or they're going to complain about something. And that is the moment where you're going to come in, not, oh my gosh, I'm going to give them that link, want to give you my link to my opportunity. But that's the moment where you want to start positioning yourself as a professional, as a consultant, as a coach, asking them what they're doing, maybe giving them some advice, and then usually giving them maybe a trick or two that they can try, and then you can come back with them and then present your opportunity to have them look at that. So that's basically the recap of what we really talked about last week when it comes to engaging people to enrolling them. And what you should be doing is you should be getting, in about 30 minutes a day doing this, having at least meeting 70 new people a week. That's 10 new people a day. And out of those 70 people that you're meeting, you should be having at least a minimum of 10 exposures a week. A minimum of 10 exposures a week to your opportunity. And that's really, if you look at that, if you took it over a 5-day period, that's just 2 exposures a day. Do you think you could go in and do 2 exposures a day for your business? Think about that. So now we're going to, before I get into talking about the follow-up, I want to do our Instagram tip of the week. Now this is a fun app to use, and this is mainly for Android. It's free. It's called Snapseed for Android, and it has filters. You can edit images, but this is the thing that I really kind of like about Snapseed, is that it has an autocorrect feature. Sometimes when I notice when I'm working with filters with different Instagram apps, sometimes if you make a mistake, or then you have to kind of go back and start over. So Snapseed gives you that ability where you can do edits without having to lose all your work and having to start all over again. So it's a real nice one. I'm still looking for its equivalent for Mac. There might be something out there for Mac. I have not seen that yet, but hopefully I will. But I'll keep my eyes and ears peeled. And guys, a really cool thing to do is you should all have Mashable. Mashable.com bookmarked. And what Mashable does, usually around the 2nd or 3rd week of the month, I'm going to type this in the chat here. And what Mashable does is around the 2nd or 3rd week of the month, they come out with their apps of the week, or the apps of the month. And with the apps of the month, sometimes they throw in some really cool Instagram apps. And a couple of weeks ago, I believe, I wish I could remember the name. I'm having brain farts tonight. But sometimes if there's a really good Instagram app that's out, they will promote that heavily on their Mashable site. So that's a really good way to look and get to know what's current when it comes to Instagram apps. So with that said, let's get to our meat and potatoes tonight, which is from exposure to enrollment. Now this is the hardest part, I think, of when you're doing any type of network marketing. And I think people get really hung up when you have to do the follow-up piece. Because the biggest reason is that people don't want to, they hate to hear the word no. They don't want to hear the word no. They don't want to be rejected. And so one of the alluring things about online network marketing is that you can give them a link to your opportunity, and if they like it, great, they'll sign up. If they don't, no big deal. But here's the problem, is that you're going to have to, you're going to waste a lot of time if you do that route. Now, if you're someone who really wants to get the ball rolling and you really want to, network marketing, guys, is a relationship business. It's a people business. Even if it's online, you're still dealing with people on the other side. And so it's all about making a human connection. So having that type of phone contact or follow-up So like when we talked about last week, when you're presenting with them with the exposure, you have to make sure that you get a phone number to call them up with. Now, what's really neat with My Lead System Pro is with their pre-made capture page system, you can create having a spot where they can fill in their phone number. Now, a lot of people don't like using that because it's like, oh, well, and then the amount of leads I'm going to get is going to drop. But the catch to that is that the more they have to fill out, the more qualified lead you're going to have. And this was a huge takeaway that I had when I was learning from Bill Pesco-Salido back in February and March of this year. Bill was doing some training on phone prospecting, and for those of you who don't know Bill Pesco-Salido, he is the best phone prospector in network marketing. He can use the phone and close people. And he said two things in a training that really, really shifted my perspective on talking with people on the phone. And I, for one, have huge phone phobia. You know, first with my hearing loss, you know, it's always been a challenge for me to talk with people on the phone. And the other part is that you're always afraid of that rejection. So Bill gave me two takeaways in a mentoring session that, you know, it just changed my whole mindset on how I approach people by the phone. And now I do not mind calling people on the phone. And the first one is that when people are sharing their phone number with you, that means they really, really want to talk to you. I mean, in this day and age, people will not share phone numbers unless they really know, like, and trust you. Now, I know some people are going, yeah, but sometimes they'll put in a number and it turns out to be disconnected. In some cases, that happens, especially if you are doing like solo ads or you're doing any type of paid advertising where you're getting cold leads. You'll see that a lot. But if you've got a prospect that you've taken through this engagement to exposure 4-step pattern here, and they give you your phone number, that means they really trust you implicitly, and they are hoping that you call them. I mean, I know there are many of you on here, and I had some too, where I called up a prospect, and because we set up this great rapport online, when I call them up on the phone, they are like excited and wanting to talk to me. All right, so there's that whole element when you're treating them like gold on that initial 4-step process, and you're building those lines, those bonds of trust by talking about things other than business. They see that you're genuine. All right, and so when they give you that phone number, that's a huge leap of faith and trust on their part to you. Now, the other takeaway is the prospect, when you're calling them, you know, a lot of times we're so afraid, well, what am I going to say? I'm going to sound so horrible, or I'm going to stutter, and I don't know anything. And you know what? Here's the takeaway that Bill showed me. And he said the prospect is always more focused on their own problems than how you're going to sound. Okay? They're only interested in is that, okay, if you're calling me, do you have something here for me that will help me overcome this problem that's keeping me up in a cold sweat at 2 a.m. in the morning, and I'm searching Google for a solution. Very, very big and important takeaway. And when I heard those two things, it totally shifted I wound up not having the fear. And I went in with a different mindset, and it helped me become someone who I'm serving. Okay? I'm no longer selling. I'm serving. Huge, huge mind shift. Big aha moment for me. So when you get this person on the phone, you're going to act natural. Look forward to talking to them. Be excited that they watched your sales presentation, that you're promoting, because you believe in your heart of hearts that this is the best opportunity out there because you're seeing success with it. So when you get on the phone, the first thing after you say, hi, how are you, is, did you watch the presentation? Now, if they said no, what you're going to do then is you're going to get out, you're going to do a little posturing where you're going to say, how soon can you watch it? And they say, well, I have free time at 8 o'clock tonight. And you can be like, okay, great. My video's only 12 minutes long. I have times at 8:15 and 8:30 tonight open so we can talk about this. What time works for you? Instead of having them dictate to you, you're dictating to them, and you're giving them a very solid choice. And when you're giving them a solid choice, they are going to be more likely to give you an answer right away. And they're not going to bail out of the situation. All right? They're not going to bail out of doing it. So then, if they do that, then you have your appointment out, and you'll get that information. You're going to say, all right, I'm calling you at this time. Be ready for it. And then you end the call. And then you're going to go back and call them again at that time. If they said yes, the first question after that is going to be, great. What did you like best about what you saw? Tell them, get questions from them what they liked. And usually in any video presentation, that this is going to disarm them, because basically if they're watching something, they're going to, like when I've watched opportunity videos, you're like, okay, let's look for the catch, let's look for the price, and your mind comes up with all these lists of reasons like, maybe not. But when someone calls and says, well, what did you like best about it, you got to sit back and think, well, what did I like about it? And they might come up with a couple of things. So you want to get them to talk about what they liked as much as possible, because when they do that, they're going to sell themselves on what they liked in the presentation. Okay? They're going to like what they saw in the presentation. And so when they do that, this is something that seasoned salesmen, like in the car industry, my husband and I love going test driving for cars. And a lot of times when they give you a test drive, what's the first thing after you get done with it? They say, what did you like about it? And if you're sitting there and you're gushing about everything, what's the chance or likelihood that you're going to get a sale closed? They're going to buy the car is going to be very high. Versus, if you took that and you took out the car for a test drive and you're kind of like, it's okay, but you're not enthusiastic about it. So the more you can get them to talk about it and saying what they liked about it, the better off, and the higher the likelihood they're going to wind up coming in, either buying your product or joining your opportunity. So after they say what they liked, then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to ask for the close. You're going to close the sale. And you can use one of these three methods. You can say, and this is what I learned from Adam Chandler and Justice Egan, and they are so good at this. They say, well, sounds like you're ready to get started. Or you could say, great, do you have any other questions before we go ahead and get you enrolled? Or you can say the sign-up process takes about 5 minutes. Are you in front of your computer right now or your mobile device? So you initially come out and you say you ask for the sale. And a lot of times, because you've built up this trust and rapport and you're getting them to tell you what they liked about it, you're going to have a very high likelihood they're going to say yes. So what happens then if they say, they say yes, they sign up, great, then you get them through all the training. But a lot of times they're going to come up with these objections, and this happens a lot where you're going to get some objections. You have to expect it. And so the way to overcome objections is you're going to diffuse any objection by saying, And I learned this technique from Diane Hockman, Adam Chandler, and Justice Egan. And all you say is, you know, I don't know much about that, but all I know now is, whoops, I did not write that in there all the way. All that I know now is, and then you can either share your story or you can share your leadership story. And what's so great with My Lead System Pro is we have so many leaders that are so skilled in so many different things, and they have different stories that if you know the leadership of your company and you know their stories and you kind of have it, have it written down somewhere, so when people are, you're encountering these objections, you can kind of think about, this story from my, this leader will resonate with this prospect if you're not comfortable sharing your story. So an example of this would be, this is about a your story example, and this is what I always tell people. Is I say, I don't know much about that. All I know is I can now generate 10 leads a day for my business without contacting friends and family. I don't have to worry about running out of people. I never run out of people to talk to. That's my story example. And a lot of times what prospects are looking for is, essentially a set of 3 key questions. And if you know these 3 key questions, it's going to make a difference, if you can answer those objections. Sometimes these 3 key questions, they will come up, either they're going to say them or they're not going to say them. So they're going to say, so you're probably going to want to answer these questions. And when you're talking with them, is it real? What's in it for me? And can I do it? Let me say that again. These are your prospect is either going to say this or they're going to give off this vibe and intention. And you're going to want to reassure them with these responses, saying, is it real? What's in it for me? And can I do it? That's the biggest one. So you don't have to have as part of your story saying, I got a gazillion leads and I'm making a 6-figure income from my home. For some prospects, that's mind-boggling. But if you say something to the effect, you know what, I'm able to generate 5 leads a day without contacting friends and family and I never run out of people to talk to, guess what? People are really tuned into that. And they're going to be like, wow, I can do that. I can do that. And this is an example of a leadership story from the leadership, one of the leaders in My Lead System Pro. I don't know much about that. All I know is my friend Michelle, who's a stay-at-home mom, was able to learn how to generate leads online using Facebook, and now is able to retire her husband from his corporate America job in just 6 months. That's another way to handle that objection, because what you're also doing is whenever you're answering questions like that to people, your prospect is thinking, you know what, I don't have to memorize a compensation plan. I don't have to memorize or draw circles. All I have to do is just share a quick story, just know who my leaders are, share a quick story, and let the the presentation do all that. I don't have to worry about that. That's real to them. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's get on to our next part here. We're going to move along. Is if they continue to object, you can carry it on for how, you can kind of measure by their responses, where they're going to go, and you can still do, I don't know much about that. All I do know, and after a while, you can gauge by saying, maybe you want to try a product. Maybe they're more tuned to being a customer. So you can have them try your product. I have a product that deals with pain relief. So if they're not interested in the opportunity, I'm sure as heck going to get them give them a sample of my product, because the product works. I love this. I love the product that I have. and I can get them as a customer. And then that way you're still getting cash flow coming in because they're customers. And eventually, at some point, they may become a rep and become a business builder and join your opportunity. Or, and if they're not into that, this is something that Diane Huckman taught me, and this thing works like gangbusters because now I never get rejections. I never get rejections when I use this technique. I get them on the email newsletter. And I'll be like, you know what? I appreciate you taking time to view the opportunity and to talk with me. I know that this opportunity isn't for everyone, but I really want to see you succeed. All right? I really want to see you, you deserve all the happiness and success in the world, and I want to be there for you to help you in any way I can. So I have this free newsletter where I share tips and strategies to grow your business. With your permission, may I add you to my list? And when you do that, all of a sudden, everybody, it just changes. Because now, instead of pushing for the sale, you're giving them that chance to be, yeah, I can be on your list. And you're not necessarily sending out, like, making an actual newsletter in your auto, this is just your autoresponder messages. And that's where you can communicate and pump them full of more value and really be there to support them, just giving, being a real servant leader. You're giving them all of the, you're sharing inspirational things, you're sharing content that maybe you've created, a video or a blog post or an audio podcast, you're sharing that with your list. And then you kind of sprinkle in some, other offers. Maybe you've got some other product lines, or maybe if you're in something like My Lead System Pro, there might be some trainings that you can offer them that are either free, or maybe a course that you can have them purchase, and if you're a My Lead System Pro Mastery member, you can get 100% commission. So that is the way that you can really use from that, from exposure to follow-up. And it's really that simple. And your mindset's going to change if all you're going to do is get them on your email list. If you got them on your email list, that is a success. All right? That is a successful follow-up. And at some point, typically in business, they need an average of 7 exposures before they come to a decision. And that's why in this business, even if you're using Instagram, you have to have, a lead capture with an autoresponder in there so you can collect their information and communicate with them often. And so for your, for homework that I want you to focus on this week is, I want you to still continue to get, meet 10 new people a day, so you should be meeting at least 70 people a week, and you're getting those 10 exposures, all right, to your opportunities. So that really breaks down over a 5-day period, just 2 a day. And then you're going to follow up with those 10 exposures that you made using this simple system. Now, if they're reluctant to giving you your phone number on the capture page, you can start the follow-up process. You can also do it via, messaging on Facebook or, Google Plus or wherever you hang out. You can do a private message with them. And you can still follow that same format. But ideally, if you can get them on the phone, you're going to have a higher percentage of closing the sale if you can get them on the phone. Now, next week, we're going to talk about creating the value-branded proposal for Instagram. And that means we're going to be creating the sales funnel that's going to go in. I'm going to bring up the page here. I'm going to bring up the page here where we're doing, where's my Instagram? Get that up here. So if you see on my Instagram here, you know, I have this nice little, this is my lead capture page. And because I've been really, you know, doing a lot of stuff with Instagram, that is my value branded proposal. So I am creating a, I create something here for people that they can get something for me. This is my lead capture page. And we're going to talk about how you can create this value branded proposal that will separate you from the pack, all right, from everybody else, and it's just going to build you as an authority in the eyes of your prospect and people. It's a very powerful way to really connect with your audience. I have seen people, you know, I learned this technique with Mark Harbert. He's another MLSP leader, a video marketer extraordinaire, and I had a great coaching session with him a little over a month ago, and he taught me this value branded proposal, and it just completely changed how I do my business. And it really builds trust, and you become the authority in the marketplace. So next week, I'm going to be sharing that with you. Now, I want to talk with you guys about something special. My little special thing that I'm doing is, you know, this year, I want to really close out the year helping as many people as I can to be successful. And one of the ways that I want to help people be successful is to become a member of My Lead System Pro. If you're not a member of My Lead System Pro, I really encourage you to go and take a look at this community. It is the premier business building community. It focuses on attraction marketing. It gives you the tools, the training, and the mindset to really become a professional home-based business owner. And you will have success with My Lead System Pro. My Lead System Pro has been responsible. It was the best decision I ever made. It's been coming up on 1.5 years for me since I have joined My Lead System Pro, and the people that I've met, the training that I've had, it is the best that I have ever seen. It is something that I hope many people will want to be a part of. And what I'm doing is over the next couple of days, I want to help people become a member of My Lead System Pro. I want you to come and take a test drive and commit. And if you do that, I'm going to commit to you by doing some pretty neat things. So for those tonight, and I'll give you the link before we go, for those of you who are a member of My Lead System Pro, this does not apply to you. But anyone who is listening tonight or watching tonight or is going to watch between now and the end of the week that is not a member, I have got something really special for you. I want you to take the 10-day test drive in My Lead System Pro. Come take a look, see what it's all about. You can do a 10-day test drive for $1 a day, so you're just putting down $10, and you can get access to all the tools, all the coaching, all the training that's available to you. And you can really see the power of what this community and training is going to do to your business. And if you commit to doing the 10-day test drive, I'm going to commit to you. I'm going to be giving you some unlimited coaching with me where we're going to sit and we're going to dissect your business and we're going to come up with a blueprint to help you succeed. I'm also going to help you set up your first value branded proposal. You know, if you come in this week, you know, we're going to be talking about next week on the Hangout, but I'm going to be giving you a heads up on how to do this. And we're going to get you set up and ready to go right out of the gate. We're going to work with you really carefully on that. Normally, when I do my coaching consultations, I charge $97 an hour for my services. So for you and I to sit down, we'll do a Skype session. And we're gonna put something together in the back office of My Lead System Pro, a value branded proposal that's going to establish you as an expert in the marketplace very quickly. Now, the first 5 people who sign up and enroll in My Lead System Pro, You take the 10-day test drive, and then you stay on for the 30 days. All right, you stay on for 30 days. What's going to happen is you're going to be eligible to pick out one of the following marketing courses valued at $297. What will happen is that you have to be a member of My Lead System Pro for at least 30 days. Once the 30 days is up, then you're gonna pick out your course, and then I'm going to reimburse you. So the courses, you have a choice of 4. You can either do the Facebook training, which is Get Fans and Make Money with Facebook expert Michelle Pesco-Salido. You can either do Tube Traffic Mojo video marketing training with Mark Harbert and Frank Marino. You can do SEO training with Rob Ford. He's the SEO expert, where you learn how to do keyword research on how you can get your site to rank on the search engines on page 1. And then the 100-Day Biz Builder Challenge, which is peak performance experts Adam Chandler and Justice Egan, where you will learn in 100 days how to develop the disciplines and mindset to really focus on the activities that will make you money. That's the first 5 people who enroll and stay in My Lead System Pro with me for 30 days. You enroll as a member. And I'm going to be sharing you with the link there in just a second. Now, this is only going to be on until Friday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Then the offer's going to come down. But if people sign up here at www.digitalmarketingdoctor.com/MLSP, you sign up tonight, we will sit down, and you will be on the clock for the big bonus of getting a free marketing course. And you will definitely get the coaching consultation with me, where we're going to craft your value branded proposal. So what I'm going to do here quickly is, we're kind of coming up with 15 minutes before the hour, before the next hangout starts. So what I'm going to do here, if you guys have any questions, you can leave it on my Facebook wall or on my fan page. And we will talk next week, so I'm going to get the redirect here. Let's see, where's my redirect? Where's my redirect? Thought I saw my redirect here. There we go. So I got the redirect here, and then we will see you guys next week. Thanks for stopping in, and I look forward to seeing you guys hit the leaderboards with this training, especially with their follow-ups. So we'll talk to you soon.